for the big crowd. This is a big ballpark. Big, I'm talking about capacity in attendance. Two balls and the strike. There's a, oh, what a play by Dunson. He throws, but not in time. Sean Dunson, a remarkable play. Had a throw from almost a prone position. Base hit.
Fine effort by Sean Dunston trying to rob his counterpart of a base hit as Larkin goes back up the middle. Dunston realizes Larkin's got great speed. The only thing he can do is from his knees try to get it across. But Barry Larkin runs too well for this one, and Sean Dunston, although a fine effort, is unrewarded on the other end.
Boy, I'll say it was a fine effort. A remarkable play, even to get to the ball. And throwing from his knees, he almost got him.
Have to keep your eye on Larkin, who stole 26 bases last year. He's got good speed.
Here's Hal Morris fouling the first pitch off. Morris hitting .324 in the spring games.
Morris hit .335 last year, a lifetime .313 hitter. He doesn't have a great deal of power, but he is an exceptional contact man. And last year he did hit 10 home runs.
And he has a younger brother playing for the Cubs organization. There goes a runner. Here's the peg. Safe, a stolen base. Wilkins did not make a good throw. A good throw might have had him.
Well, Jim Bullinger made a mistake. He allowed Barry Larkin to get a moving lead at first base. You've got to make sure that that man is stopped before you come home. Here's the throw. It's not a good one. It's into the runner, and Dunston has to use his acrobatic best to keep this ball from going into center field. Larkin stealing the base easily. That one was stolen on Bullinger, and he's got to make these Reds runners stop. This is a very aggressive base running team. And
so Hal Morris, 1-1 the count. Look at the lead Larkin had. What a time had been called by Morris, apparently. And Bullinger went through the motion of pitching and realized time had been called and held on to the ball. Didn't get hurt your shoulder
yes,
that way.
Yes, you can, Harry. And for all you young pitchers out there, when you see something like that, just continue throwing the baseball, because you can indeed hurt yourself by holding up.
High pop foul out of play, and he's ahead of the hitter. 2 strikes and the ball. Ron Gant will be next.
And I'm sure that Bullinger realizes he has got to hold the Reds very close today, because his pitching opponent has been so tough on the Cubs through the years. Jose Rijo doesn't give you too much, and Bullinger can't afford to fall behind early.
1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a high pop fly that Dunston will handle. 2 away, Morris. Pop to Dunston, the shortstop.
That was a pretty good sequence of pitching for Bullinger, because he retired a very tough hitter, had him off balance. And now he's got to deal with Ron Gant, who normally has some difficulty early in the season. He's an avid weightlifter. You can see how strong this young man is, but early in the year, many times you're able to tie him up inside. And with a good curveball that Bullinger has, might be a good time to show it to Gant, who didn't play at all last year.
Big star with the Atlanta Braves, Ron Gant. Hits with power and steals a lot of bases. Gant doesn't look it, but he weighs 200 pounds, a 6-footer. And you get a look at the biceps, you understand what you're talking about.
This is a very strong young man.
There's the long drive, deep right center field, and Sosa! What a fine play by Sammy Sosa. that he ever had to run a long way. Covered an acre of ground, hauled it in. At the end of one, there is no score.
What do you get when you fly the low-fare airline? Fun fares.
Well, you've waited so long for a fare to get so nice and low now. You really should fly.
Light up the night. Southwest Airlines' new fun fares are so low. Want to see that again? Now you can fly just for the fun of it.
Come along with us, 'cause we got a lot of things to do now. You really should fly. And you'll have fun, 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 flying Southwest on a fun fair today. Fun, fun, flying on a fun fair.
Green, green, it's green, they say, on the far side of the hill. Green, green, I'm going away to where the grass is green.
Dandelions are ruining this lawn. Too bad they didn't use Scott's Turf Builder Plus 2. Every patented particle gives you dandelion control, plus Scott's exclusive greening technology, so it helps keep every square inch green and weed-free. There is a difference in fertilizers, the Scott's difference.
Look what's popping up for spring. Come save on lots of things at Sears Days.
Just in time for spring driving, it's Sears' lowest prices ever on great brand name tires. Through Saturday, get huge savings on select Michelin, Bridgestone, Guardsman Plus, and more. Save from 5 to 30%. For our lowest prices ever on these great brand name tires, roll on into Sears Auto Center by Saturday.
Come and save so many ways at Sears Days.
Harry Carey and Steve Stone back in Riverfront as we go into the second inning, and what a fine play by Sammy Sosa. He must have run 1.5 miles.
That one stayed up a long time, and fortunately Ron Gant did not pull it. Sammy able to run it down, and Bullinger got out of the first inning. And in my estimation, here's one of the keys to the 1995 season. If Rick Wilkins can harken back to 93, where he hit .303, the Cubs can be in pretty good shape.
Watch his play again. Here's Sammy on the dead run. Deep right center. And he makes the catch. He swings and misses. The count evened up.
Well, Harry, I've got a trivia question for you, and it seems hard to believe, but there are two guys tied for the oldest on this red team. They're 31 years old, and one of them is a former Cub. Who might that be?
Who might that be? Damon. Hey, there's a ground ball, gets away from Morris. Here's Wilkins on his way to second base, and he's in there. Well, Damon Berryhill is one of them.
That's it. It's Damon Berryhill. And a lot of fans not too happy with the effort of Hal Morris at first base. It looked like a ball that should have been handled. We'll take a look at it. Still no decision on the scoreboard yet. Wilkins hit it pretty well down the line. And they are giving him an error.
Yeah.
So we'll take another look.
Yeah, it looked like. Well, a tough error. He had tried for it backhanded. A ball hit close to the line by a left-hand hitter. But they call it an error, so that's the way it goes down to the score sheet. Here's Dunston.
This is a big run for the Cubs to pick up, and Sean Dunston either can lay one down or hit to the right side to move along Wilkins.
Swings, fouls it back. A two-base error for the Reds on Hal Morris. So the Reds have the only digits on the board. No runs, one hit, one error. The sun shining brightly. There's a bunt down to first base. Thrown out by Rijo. Nice bunt by Sean Dunston. Wilkins advances to third and puts it up to Steve Buechele.
Good effort by Sean Dunston. When he talked about his two options, he realized as tough a pitcher as Rijo is, he would be best served to lay down the bunt, and here is the bunt, and it's a dandy. He makes Rijo field it. Rio's got no chance at Rick Wilkins. So in the first opportunity that the Cubs have had to execute, they do it perfectly.
And now here's Buechele. First pitch outside. Buechele hit only .214, one home run last year against the Reds. During his career, he's hit .255 with 4 home runs. Fastball is in there.
Well, the Reds have said that Deion Sanders is throwing a little better than he used to throw in center field. The strong arm belongs to Reggie Sanders in right. And if there is a fly ball, let's hope that it's deep enough if it does go to Reggie Sanders.
Broken bat, ground ball, the run's gonna score easily. And Buechele on a broken bat. Kind of a weak roller to the shortstop Larkin. By the time he came in and picked the ball up, Rijo, I think, was ducking out of the way of the flying broken piece of bat. And the Cubs lead 1-0.
You can see the run scoring and the easy play to first base. So Steve Buechele on a bat that just disintegrated in his hands, able to hit it softly enough to score the run, and the Cubs are on top.
Not only did it disintegrate, it broke.
It did that too.
2 out, 1 in.
Some very happy Cubs as they're slapping the hands that still have to be ringing.
Here's Bullitt, Scott Bullitt, who has good power, good speed. Jim Bullinger, for a pitcher, is a pretty good hitter, having started out in professional baseball as a shortstop. Fastball, low and inside. The count even now 2 balls, 1 strike. Now it seems to me there's a fly ball, easy out. To retire the side, Bullitt flies to Deion Sanders. 1 run, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left. We go in the bottom of the second. The Cubs leading the Reds 1-0.
Watch what happens to these scratches and swirl marks. New advanced formula Color Magic car polish from Turtle Wax contains more colorants to help hide minor scratches and swirl marks better than ever, while giving your car 12 months of unsurpassed Turtle Wax protection against the elements. Even on old neglected finishes, advanced formula Color Magic works like magic, bringing back the color and shine. Hide scratches and swirl marks better than ever with new advanced formula Turtle Wax Color Magic.
Oh, hi. What do you have? Myself, I had the goulash, I had the fries, I had the cheesecake, and now I'll have the Tums. Tums has calcium.
Many antacids don't. These have aluminum and magnesium. So do these. Tums helps knock out heartburn and gives you calcium.
Something your body needs anyway. So what do you have? Have the goulash, have the fries, have the cheesecake, and have...
Tums.
Dad?
Yeah?
There's something I want to tell you.
What is it, son?
Well, Dad, you're my dad. And I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light, Johnny.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Ray, forget it, Johnny.
Where does the whole neighborhood go when it's time to fix up around home?
They'll get you squared away.
Sunday, April 30th is Connie's Pizza Keychain Day. The first 10,000 adults attending the Cubs Expo game receives a Cubs keychain, compliments of Connie's Pizza, the official pizza of Wrigley Field. Plenty of good seats available for every home game this season, including the weekend series against the Expos and next week against the Astros. For tickets, stop by the Wrigley Field box office or call 312-831-CUBS.
Harry Carey back at Riverfront. And Brett Boone, whose father, Bob, a fine catcher for so many years, wound up being the leader. There's a line driving to right field, deep, going back. Sammy Sosa makes the catch. Boy, Brett Boone showed you great opposite field power that time.
Boone hit 12 home runs last year, where he hit 320. And Sammy Sosa playing him deep enough, positioned perfectly as Boone drives this ball that was low and away. Jim Bullinger is just hoping that he doesn't run out of room, and just before the wall, he's able to make the catch.
Here now is Benito Santiago. He's been around a while. Signed as a free agent recently. Curveball in there for a strike call.
The Reds were going to go with Eddie Taubensee and Damon Berryhill behind the plate. But on April 17th, they signed Santiago.
Good fastball, a strike call.
And Harry, maybe it's the nature of the game, but here's a man who had a 2-year contract for in the neighborhood of $8 million with the Florida Marlins the last couple of years, signed for $500,000 with the Reds.
With incentives.
With some incentives, yes.
You can bet the incentives will never add up to the kind of money that he was making with the Marlins. Connie Kowal's minor league organization won 2 out of 3 last night. Iowa was rained out. Joliet boy Mark Grant will pitch for them tonight. Orlando defeated Port City 9-1, and Daytona beat Charlotte 9-3. There's a high pop fly. Boy, that's a high one. Mark Grace, that might bring rain. 2 out. Santiago fouls to Grace. And here is Reggie Sanders.
Reggie Sanders was on a pace last year to lead the National League in strikeouts before the season came to a screaming halt. He fanned 114 times in 107 games. Bullinger's hoping that he remains the wild swinger he was, but this man has the potential to join the 30-30 club. He's a young hitter who's very strong and has tremendous speed.
Cub-owned Rockford. You know, the Cubs purchased this ball club a couple of years ago. And Midwest is a ground ball. Great stop. Long throw. Can't get him. Boy, oh boy, Dunston going to his right. Made a fine play, but his throw pulled Grace off the bag, and Sanders very fast beat it out.
Sean is diving all over the infield in the first couple of innings. But much like the last time when he made a spectacular effort only to come up short, the same holds true here. Reggie Sanders with great speed, able to beat the throw, and Sean can't get enough on it. But we'll take a look at this effort as Dunston has stopped a couple of balls from leaving the infield.
2 out. The runner on with an infield hit, Reggie Sanders, who might try to steal. Willie Green is the hitter. Joined the Reds out of their farm system last year. Figured in 16 games. Batted .216. Willie Green hits left-handed, throws right-handed, 5'11", 185-pounder. Out of Haddock, Georgia. Hit 23 homers for Indianapolis in the association last year. A little bit low. Ball 2 now. Keep in mind that Jose Rijo is an outstanding hitter for a pitcher.
Normally you'd have to figure that the number 7 hitter would go, thinking the worst case scenario would be lead off with the 8th hitter and not the pitcher. But with Rijo as good a hitter as he is, the Reds don't necessarily have to do that.
There's a throw to first, runner back.
Willie Green is a man that originally was a #1 draft choice of the Pittsburgh Pirates back in June 1989. Then he went to Montreal in the Zane Smith trade that also yielded Moise Alou to the Expos, and came over here in the John Wetland deal, so he's been around for a very young man.
Swung and he missed. 2 balls and a strike.
Now I'm thinking that if Reggie Sanders has any kind of a read at all on Jim Bullinger, that Davey Johnson is probably going to give him the green light. And there's a look at Davey Johnson. His career numbers versus the Cubs, many of them piled up with the Mets.
Remember, Davey Johnson averaged 90 victories a year for 5 straight years, and what he got for that was eventually fired. 2 balls and a strike. Tapped it foul. The Rockford team, owned by the Chicago Cubs, lost last night to Beloit in the Midwest League 13-4. But left fielder Gabe Watley had 3 out of 3 with a triple and a run batted in. Richard Freeman was 2 for 4. Two and 2 the count. All 3 low. Big pitch, the runner will be going, of course. 3 and 2, 2 out. Bullinger with a 1-0 lead. They struck him out. So, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of 2, the Cubs lead 1-0.
Why'd the Whopper beat the Big Mac and Wendy's single in taste test? The Whopper from Burger King is flame broiled. It tastes like it's hot off the barbecue. And that makes people happy. Did you ever see sad people sitting around a barbecue? Never.
Come in and ask for the winning Whopper and get it for just 99 cents, only at Burger King.
Oh, yeah? Then why is there such a great selection of all new GMC Sonomas in every shape, size, and color at your dealer now? Check it out. Go to your GMC truck dealer instead. Because right now, they can help you save big time on the all-new GMC Sonoma. So see your dealer today.
Okay, Smiths, first base. Belknap, home plate. Okay, let's hit the field.
Where does the whole neighborhood go when it's time to fix up around home?
They'll get you squared away.
Treat your favorite Cubs fan to Fine Line, the Cubs monthly newspaper. Receive a free 8x10 photograph of your name and lights on Wrigley Field's marquee when you order a 2-year gift subscription. Call 1-800-248-WINS and subscribe today.
Why'd the Whopper beat the Big Mac and Wendy's single in taste test? The Whopper from Burger King is flame broiled. It tastes like it's hot off the barbecue. And that makes people happy. Did you ever see sad people sitting around a barbecue? Never.
Come in and ask for the winning Whopper and get it for just 99 cents, only at Burger King.
Harry Carey back at Riverfront Stadium. Jim Bullinger will lead it off here in the top of the 3rd. The Cubs are leading 1-0. A lot of empty seats, but there are about 50,000. I think they seat close to 60,000 in this ballpark. Bullinger, pretty good hitter. One ball, 1 strike. An error led to the Cub run. Questionable error could just as easily been ruled a base hit, and if the Cubs had had a hit before him, I have a feeling the official scorer would have called it a hit, but he feared if that was the only play that might have deprived the pitcher of a no-hitter would be on his conscience forever. Ball, two balls, 2 strikes.
Cubs would like to see the pitches pile up on Rio. He didn't have a particularly easy first inning or second inning, and they would like to see him out of there long about the 6th.
Ball 3. A base on balls would look mighty good here. Early relief for the Reds, I guess, is a little bit of a problem. They foul ball.
That one just missed.
He hit that ball hard. He fouled by about 2 inches. Jim Pacheco, third base umpire, right in line with it.
You have a look at Willie Green playing well off the line at third. He didn't expect Bullinger to pull Rio, but remember, Bullinger started as a shortstop and usually swings the bat pretty well.
He walked him. That's a good beginning. Remember, Bullinger's first time at bat in the major leagues was in St. Louis when he started a game as a pitcher after beginning his career as a shortstop in the Cub organization. And Bullinger hit a home run. So he can swing the bat pretty good. Here's Brian McRae, struck out his first time up.
McRae's been working on his bunting, and it's not a bad idea.
There's a line drive, right it. Hey, he didn't catch the ball. Ron Gant. Let's see what they're going to call that. Base hit.
And that is a base hit. The first one of the day. And the Cubs in business here with 2 on and nobody out. McRae hits this high fastball right on the button. And Ronnie Gant comes in, has some problems with it.
It did bounce in front of them, and they're having a huddle around the mound now. Runners at first and second. Nobody out, and Ray Sanchez, the hitter. What do you think they were talking about?
The bunt to Willie Green at third base, which is certainly imminent. Or you'd think it would be, but we'll have to see what's on the mind of Jim Riggleman. That bunt in this situation really puts the pressure on the defense.
There's the bunt. The only play safe at third, but out at first. Boy, oh boy, how did Sanchez bunt that ball? Looked like it was going to hit him in the head.
Well, Ray was bailing out on that inside fastball. He had very little choice. And Rio had a shot at third, but for the flying feet of Jim Bullinger, who was able to beat the throw. The bunt right back at Rio. He goes to third. Alertly, Green, not doing any umpiring himself, goes to first. They do get the out. We'll watch Jim Pacheco, and he is safe at third. It's a good call. So the Cubs on the sacrifice have 2 men in scoring position.
So Sammy Sosa, who walked his first time up, started a swing, tried to check, fouled it off. On that sacrifice, Sanchez is retired 1-5-4. Funny way to go out, huh? Sammy Sosa. He's in the hole 0-2. Boy, this Rio's done it. This is exactly the situation the first time when Sosa battled him and fouled off some pitches and eventually walked in the first inning.
Sammy didn't like that call, and now a lot of pressure falls to Santiago if Rio does throw that slider in the dirt. It's tough to stop at times if Rio decides to go low and away with it.
Santiago.
The way Santiago set up, that was going to be a fastball inside, probably up and off the plate.
1 man out, runners second and third. Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, it'd be nice to get these 2 runners home. This Rio is such a tough pitcher to score on. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Infield back. He struck him out.
That's been the problem with Sammy Sosa. As big a producer as he's been at times, with a runner at third and less than 2 outs, he won't shorten his swing and he will make very little contact. And Rijo just blew him away with a good fastball.
Well, here's the Affleck trivia question. Which player is the all-time leader with opening day home runs? Obviously, it would be Babe Ruth, right? I have a feeling that would be wrong. How about Frank Robbins? Here's Mark Grace. The answer later. Oh, pops it up. Ah, boy, oh boy. Larkin makes the catch to retire the side. Rijo pitched out of the jam. No run. 1 hit. No errors. 2 left. We go into bottom of the third. 1-0 Cubs.
We're very fortunate to have such a wonderful family.
After his operation, his body was like twice the normal size. He was on this respirator for 3 weeks. It was kind of lonely around here.
I got Affleck through our company. The owner of the company felt that we should have it. It turned out fabulous.
Aflac covers the unexpected costs of getting better so you can get on with life.
Everything worked out wonderful.
Why'd the Whopper beat the Big Mac and Wendy's single in taste test? The Whopper from Burger King is flame broiled. It tastes like it's hot off the barbecue. And that makes people happy. Did you ever see sad people sitting around a barbecue? Never.
Come in and ask for the winning Whopper and get it for just 99 cents, only at Burger King.
This is WGN Chicago.
Next is Lady. Exceptional sheen. Oh, very good color. Prince. Hands.
Oh, such stateliness, such majesty.
Larry. Larry.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The best of show? More?
You'll spot Forever storm doors in neighborhoods all across America, looking right at home on a stately brick Tudor or a Dutch Colonial. And from the moment you open a Forever storm door, you'll understand why so many families choose them. Quality like no other, guaranteed to last season to season, year to year. There's a Forever storm door style and color just right for your home. Call for a free brochure. Forever by Emco, the world's finest storm doors.
Harry Carey and Steve Stone with Tom Brenneman, who'll be along at the end of this half inning. We go in the bottom of the third with Jose Rijo, a fine hitting Cincinnati pitcher leading it off.
Rijo made some excellent pitches to get himself out of that third inning. It looked like the Cubs were ready to add to their lead, but Rijo just battened down the hatches and fanned Sammy. He got Mark Grace to pop up to get out of it.
Originally, Rijo was signed by the New York Yankees as a free agent back in 1980.
I think he was 15 or 16 years old at the time, Aaron.
Well, that was back in '81. If he's only 30 years old today, this year.
It's 14 years ago, so he's 16.
That works out, doesn't it?
Something in that neighborhood. Not being a mathematician.
I just found it hard to believe a guy 15 years old could be signed by a major league ball club, but the Reds have Joe Nuxall, who works with Tom Brenneman's dad. There's a slow roller. It's going to be out. Close play. As Buechele fielded it barehanded with a perfect throw, got him.
Good play by Steve Buechele. Rijo doesn't have the best speed around, but he makes a fine effort here, smelling a base hit. Buechele comes in, realizes he can't let it go foul, fires it across, and he gets him by a half step, and we'll watch the bare hand pickup. A fine effort by Buechele. And one of the things the Cubs won't have to worry about too often is their inner defense. It's just about as strong as anyone's.
Want to finish that sentence about Tom Brenneman's dad, Marty, who does the Cincinnati